9 cycles have passed. When the gods deem mortals too powerful, they decree a race between their avatar and the mortals to determine their worth. In the race, the mortals are granted a chance to engage the very gods themselves. The mortals are granted a chance of survival. The mortals are granted a chance to become gods. Lose and see all mortal life removed from the Kryn, and the next cycle begins. This race is the final command of the gods to their mortal counterparts. This is their dying order.
Hello there. Welcome
Hello.
to the beginning of the stream. It's me, Brad, and all of the ladies and Bo. And everyone's moved the cameras around. Pocket entirely moved house and country. She now lives in the United States of Romania.
Come on. No, I didn't move countries.
And PB has shrunk and KPP has grown significantly.
Wait. I think I can fix that.
Too late. Oh, okay. Well, now you're a giant face. Just a ginormous face. Hello, everyone. Welcome to the show. It's Dying Order. It's Sunday, and we're back with the main gang, the main crew, back in the future. Back to the future they shall go. After last week's episode where we
Gotta go back, Marty.
we gotta go back when this car hits him. We went to 6 months before the events of the beginning of the campaign, and we saw Bo, and he was pickpocketing some people, and then he got into some mischief and joined a gang of children. He became the ringleader,
the gang leader.
A bunch of children around the city of Bellona. There was an assassination down an alleyway. May or may not have been Ellie. We don't know.
Totally was
It really looked like Ellie, but we don't know what was going on. But they all witnessed it. But
Made me pee my pants.
yeah. But yeah, we had Tuesday with us, and Pocket is back now. Yay! Are you ready to kill things again?
It depends on what you're going to throw at us today.
I guess I don't even know. Honestly, I genuinely don't know. I've forgotten everything that happened 2 weeks ago. And if you're all prepared and ready, we shall jump back into it. Can you hear that noise? Is that a noise in the background that's horrendous? No?
No.
Okay, good. All right. There's lots of cleaning going on in my house today. So the last episode was obviously a short throwback to Bo. We discovered that Bo had come into contact with some of these strange items. Disby, in Bo's sheet, you now have the truth serum syringe with one use, and a vial with a human finger that occasionally twitches. You still have them.
And I do believe the shiny rock as well.
You do, but the last thing we saw was it fall out of your pack and sink to the bottom of the ocean. The last thing we saw before even that was you guys fighting with Auril, who was the goddess of winter in the area that was kind of behind Aura's door, and all of the... Okay.
Sorry.
All of the,
It was an accident.
Everyone's casting spells right now and they're not working.
It was an accident.
It's okay. Everyone leveled up, so everyone got a new spell, and they're casting them right now. If you cast a spell during the intro, it counts, and you lose the spell slot. I'm kidding. That's the real DM response, isn't it? I'm the easygoing DM? Question mark. The
hard ass DM response, I guess.
The last thing that happened. You were all fighting with the goddess of winter when there was all of these terrible explosions and this sound like the world tearing in two, and then all of these huge black holes appeared. You were drawn into them. And that's where we're picking up from, kinda, sort of. A little wibbly wobbly. Gonna be a little bit wibbly wobbly from now on, because things have changed. If you're ready to jump back in, you shall all remember the particularly large explosion that happened. There was this enormous sound as the sky above all of you rips in two. And beyond were these black holes that were opening up across the landscape, several appearing in the sky and several appearing much closer than that all around you. Some of you on or with your unicorns suddenly feel this shift in gravity. Separated from those unicorns, you are pulled as if there is an undercurrent to the air around you, and you're dragged through the sky into these black holes. The unicorns do their best, galloping towards each of you as you are quickly drawn towards these black holes. You're pulled from this plane just as each of you witnesses the goddess Auril explode into shafts of light and ice. And that is where, for a moment, we lose Ellie, Bo, and Aura. And we remain with Suna. Suna, this moment happens for you. And you experience it just like that. And as you are pulled into this black hole, probably from your perspective, the next sensation you feel or hear or understand in general is maybe the familiar sense of a desert around you. Maybe as your eyes open and adjust and you look up above you, you take in a strange grey sky. At the edge of your vision, you can see a rippling black hole sitting stable, but moving in its own gravitational pull. As you sit
I'm
up,
sorry. How big is this?
in the distance, just maybe as you open your eyes, you can see the skyline above you, and then you catch one of these things. As you sit up and your eyes adjust, you'll witness all of your surroundings now, and the first thing probably you'll feel is the feel of sand under your hands. There's a vast sea of sand around you, much like the open expanse of the sand dunes in the southern areas of Dustvale. And then you will see the black holes in the sky. There are none that seem to be on the ground. They don't seem to be tearing up the ground or anything like that. But in the sky, in the distance, relatively close, you can see them. They seem to be, for all intents and purposes, kind of inert. Like they're not active. They're not pulling in anything. You can't feel the sensation of a gravitational shift or lots of wind or anything like that. Other than the sight of them, there is no other sense that they would even be there.
Right.
There are rocks floating in the sky, almost as if parts of the land have chipped up and begun to float upwards and then begun to sit static. Some of them looked as if they were being pulled towards the black holes, but held in stasis.
Can I touch one?
It's like
Or are they
it's
too
of a
high?
whole mountainside
Right.
that have broken off.
There
in the
aren't any
distance.
tiny rocks
You
or
can see
anything.
them. There are around you, but they're not floating up in the air.
Right.
You can
Okay.
see parts of the landscape have been kind of broken off, but it's in the distance. The area around you seems to be normal, active. You can hear the cricket of a strange creature or the scurry of a scorpion or a lizard or something moving around you. The sand is, you can pick it up, you can feel it run through your fingers.
Please continue.
There's a couple of other elements that you're going to want to take in before you react. The sensation of the sun hitting you is the same as you would expect. The sand is warm. The area around you appears to be the desert that you might understand, other than the fact that it is completely devoid of color.
What?
It is as if you are witnessing everything through the lens of black and white. The sand feels hot. The sun feels real on your skin, but your skin is grey. The sky is grey. The sand is grey. The mountains and the rocks, the broken rocks that are floating up into the black holes, all greys and blacks and whites. Roll me a wisdom check. Just give me a wisdom check for now.
All right. 18.
There is a kinship you have with this place. This is and is not your home of Dustvale.
All right.
There are only two things of note here. Ahead of you, perhaps maybe 30 feet away from where you are, is the unconscious form of Ellie.
Whoa.
Laid upon the sand, some of her items scattered around her, maybe a bow, some arrows, and a satchel. She seems to be unhurt. From here you can see she's breathing, but she's splayed out on the sand, probably how you were before you sat up as well. And then much further ahead of you lies a great and wondrous tower. There is...
My tower?
It is your tower. All towers are your tower. It looks something like this for us. The area around the
Oh my.
tower is untouched by the damage done to the land by the black holes, and you can see this very, very large. It's just enormous. Stone built, carved, masoned tower. It sits among the hills and mountains, and these are hills and mountains that you recognize. These are not small hills and mountains. These are very, very large mountains. This tower is sitting 4 or 5 times higher than the highest peak you can see here.
All right.
It's absurdly large, but it's still in the distance for you. And the top of the tower has a great beam of white light, which is emitting straight upwards into the sky and seemingly beyond.
Well, that's new.
It's pretty. It stands out in a way that the tower sits at what appears to be kind of a center ahead of you, and the further out from the tower your vision extends, or you look about, the more kind of destruction appears to have hit and stabilized to the mountainside, the sand, the area around it, these black holes around where you are. And that's it.
Well, I rush over to Ellie.
Yes.
Is she breathing? Is she all right? Ellie?
Make a
Ellie?
medicine check.
$17.
She's completely fine.
Oh, all right. Ellie? I smack her
Unconscious.
face a little bit.
Do I wake up?
Oh, yeah, you do.
Ellie? Goodness. Are you all right?
Did we beat it? What happened?
I think the world ended. I mean, I'm not sure, but a massive explosion, and we're here now. Somewhere in between. Seems like.
How do we get back? Can we get back?
There might not be a back to go back to, but we can certainly try. I think maybe we should head over to that tower there.
Where's the others? Do you see them?
I don't.
I'll look around.
Yeah, you can give me perception checks.
8.
And 8.
20.
20. So you both see the same thing, even though one of those is a much lower roll. There really is nothing here. Where you are, Hune, is not where you would expect to see a tower. This is probably out in the great rolling wastes of Dustvale, way out in the middle of nowhere, far away from civilization. There's certainly no towns or anything for you to see, spot, or understand that they would be here. In terms of anybody else, there's no one here. It seems to be almost devoid of life, apart from maybe you'll see a couple of scurrying things. Ellie, you've been here before as well, even though, again, it looks crazy. There is no color here. Parts of the landscape are broken and being lifted into these stationary black holes in the sky. But you get the familiar sensation. It feels exactly the same as the last time you were here in Dustvale, apart from the fact that you are now a sort of undead thing. So the sense of heat and the incredible pressure of being out in the desert in the middle of the day wouldn't be hitting you as anywhere near as badly as it probably did when you were still quote unquote alive. So yeah, you don't see anyone at all. Really, there is only this tower in the distance, and it's pretty damn far away as well.
I guess I'd start walking towards the tower.
Yeah, I really do think that's our best option.
Well, we should keep an eye out for the other two. They should be around if I'm here.
Aura!
That works too. You could also yell, I guess.
Oh!
I'm not yelling. I just keep walking.
What did that mean? Did you hear that?
Hear what?
The voices right before the explosion.
I
Said something like, "Oh, I
Like
can't
what?
remember."
Maybe Bo will remember. Or Aura, it was her door. What if something backfired in her door? What if we're still stuck in there?
Well, maybe this is. Yeah, maybe you're right. Maybe this is still part of the test. It feels different. This
does?
feels like Dustvale, yes. Just a little bit off.
I look around, I'm like, yeah, just a little bit off, I suppose.
Yeah, I mean, well, color aside, I mean, I don't remember the mountains quite sloping this way, but the dunes are right. But look up. Half of it's in the sky. And what are those?
I think we should just get towards this tower. You keep yelling. I'll keep an ear out for the others.
What if we were too late?
That just means the cycle resets, doesn't it?
Well, what if that's what's happening right now?
Could be. Then we have to start all over again. Don't you have some sort of time magic,
I mean, I do a little, yes. Why? What are you proposing?
This?
know. I can't.
A sort of reversal of time or something. I don't know what you can do.
That would be very intense time magic, and
It would be very helpful time magic.
Yes, I don't have that. I can maybe make you faster in the heat of battle, or I can stop you from getting hurt momentarily, but I can't stop the world from exploding. That would be great, but I don't have that.
As we're walking, do we run into one of the other two?
Let's see. PB, roll me an Arcana check.
Doing it now. I'm sorry. 18. I don't know what these rolls are today. I'm in a half of a world where I roll well.
When while you're discussing this thing about how you have time magic and you can't just stop time, actually time has stopped.
Shut up.
In a bubble of completely stopped time. How you understand this is entirely up to you. It can be from your understanding of magic or from chronomancy, but time has completely stopped, or where you are, apart from a small bubble of this desert that you're kind of in. Things are still moving around. You get the feeling that if you went too far away from this tower, you would freeze in time suddenly.
All right. I think when Ellie says if you could just stop time, that'd be great, and I'm laughing, joking it off, and then I maybe look over into the distance, and I don't see the wind moving, because on the dunes in Dustvale, everything on the top layer just kind of slides and glistens in the sun, and I don't see that happening out there. And I think that's the first clue. Ellie, you might be onto something here. I mean, I don't think I've done this, but look out there in the distance.
I turn and look.
Do you see that dune and how it bends down and crests into the other one there?
Yeah, it looks pretty normal to me.
No, but it doesn't, because normally the sun in Dustvale, when it's right overhead like it is now, you see the wind will be taking a kind of like a shimmer, a shine along the dunes, and it follows almost like water. And it's not doing that. It's stuck.
So
I think you might be
stuck
right.
In time.
Potentially. But
how can we move? But
hold on, and I'm gonna. I'd like to cast a frost or something, just in the distance. I just want to see how far it goes and if it stops once it gets past this bubble.
Yeah, roll.
Might be too big of a bubble. I don't know.
It's a pretty big bubble. I don't know how far, what distance you can fire this thing at.
Let's find out. Nope, 60 feet's not gonna do it. I need something more than that. What about my firebolt? 120
Are you just
feet.
casting something? Because I could just cast Eldritch Blast.
120 feet. What's Eldritch Blast? Probably the same thing.
Well, I'm not doing table talk. I'm just casting this, please. Firebolt.
So you fire a firebolt off into the distance. I think you see it launch in the opposite direction to where this tower is, maybe, and it fires outwards. It streaks across the sands. It creates nothing more than kind of a white light because there's no color here at all. Just as it reaches the edge of where it probably its maximum range is, you see it stop suddenly. A light in the distance. The tail trails off as if that continues, but the light of the edge of the firebolt stops suddenly in midair. Now, 120 feet away from you, there is a
turnips.
small
Look,
light.
Ellie. It stopped. Look at my fireball. I'll be
Well, that's
damned.
good. I guess fighting won't really happen here, will it? I'm useless. I keep walking. We gotta find the others. I think we gotta find the others. We gotta find.
All right. Yes, you're right. You're right. I look at the fireball for a moment, and I feel a very overwhelming sense of foreboding, and then I turn and follow Ellie.
Yeah, I think there's probably a classic shot of two people in a desert walking across a vast distance of sand. As the camera shot here that we might see kind of pulls outwards, you'd see that there's just an enormous expanse of sand that you need to walk towards, and then there's these canyons that you need to walk into before even getting anywhere near close to where the tower is ahead of you. And that's where we're going to switch to not Bo. To Aura. Aura, you awaken in a very different place to where Suna is. There is color here, first of all. You hear the sound of Buns first. Buns probably wakes you. Whether he's fluttering against your face or just the sound of him wakes you up. The sound, the fluttering, the sudden sort of realization that there's light in your hitting your eyes, your closed eyes, kind of pulls you from what feels like an extremely deep sleep. The type of sleep that you might have if you've been asleep for like 12 plus hours, where you're just in deepest possible sleep. The sensation of a dream that you can't remember, kind of at the edge of your thoughts as you awaken and try and figure out where you are. Opening your eyes, shielding them from the sun for a moment, you're in a field, a pretty wide open field. Green grass, long, kind of overgrown, dandelions peppering the landscape with yellow. It's certainly not a place that you recognize. You sit up, and your clothing is strange. It looks old, kinda, and also just not the type of thing that you would have seen anyone, at least in Bame, or maybe even in Alexandria, wear. It's kind of an old, frumpy sort of dress, brown in color and tones of like earth colors, heavy as well, like it's just old material. Ahead of you in the ground, you see a glint of metal off of the sun. As your eyes adjust, you see that it's your sword, or at least the hilt of a very embedded sword that is yours. The Celtic knot hilt looks brand new, much newer than the heirloom that you received from your father all those years ago. It's crackling with an energy. A sort of green, almost electricity is running up and down the hilt and then down along the blade and into the ground. You can see this is a great sword. It's a big, long, kind of claymore-looking thing, and about 2/3 of it are underground. It's like really deep in the ground. Other than that, buns fluttering around you, great sword, and an endless field of blue sky with the sun shining down. You don't see the others or anything else. Yeah.
I'd sit up and probably let my eyes adjust and look for buns. And then if I see my sword, I would immediately probably like make my way towards it and try to pull it out of the ground.
Yeah, give me an athletics check.
A
9. Mixie, you
oh, sorry.
yeah, you head over towards this sword. As you put your hands around the sword, there is a brief moment where probably You get like a not uncomfortable static shock, just like the kind of thing where you sense that there's an energy to the hilt. And as you go to pull the thing, you actually choke for a moment. There's just a second where you cough. And you feel like a heaviness to your lungs before attempting to pull this thing. While you cough, you can't pull the thing out. So give me another athletics check.
Okay. 10.
10. You start to pull this thing from the ground. You can feel the sword give way to the ground, and as you get a decent grip and steady your legs and begin to pull the blade up, you do so. You can feel the rush of energy suddenly move upwards along the sword and into your hands. Your hair is lifted from your face for a moment as a kind of a wind buffets upwards, as if you've uncorked something from the ground. There's a moment where, as you pull this sword out from the ground, you see water rush up out of the hole that was left behind. The sword doesn't have a speck of dirt on it. It looks absolutely brand new. In the sky, around where you are, there are the faces of Sean de Call, Lathander, Myliki, and Auril. The gods that you saw in this, behind that door. They're kind of ethereal, barely there. And for a moment, you feel at peace, I think, before that sensation on your lungs rushes over you again. You lose the grip on the sword and you start to choke up water. In the distance, you can hear a voice that sounds a lot like Bo, I think. Bo. You are swimming towards a potentially unconscious or a waking aura underwater here. After you wake from your own kind of reverie, this memory that you have of spending time with those children, you see this drift globe fall from your pack as you swim towards over where, well, swim, kind of rush the water around you to propel yourself forward towards Aura. Aura, your dream fades and you kind of wake up. You've been breathing water, so you've been choking to a degree. You probably see your sword floating away from you, heading downwards. Some of your items maybe as well, as you're kind of spinning deep underwater. There's an immediate pressure to the area about you. And Bo, you swim up towards where she is, and you wanted to cast a spell, I believe.
That's right. I'm immediately going to cast water breathing on Aura.
Yes. So you have the spell water breathing, and they've been trying to get this spell for weeks to do this. So the spell grants up to 10 willing creatures that you can see within range the ability to breathe underwater until the spell ends, which is 24 hours. Affected creatures also retain their normal mode of respiration. So there's a moment, Aura, as you come to here, and you feel that pressure, that horrible burning sensation of breathing in water. It's gone instantly, all of a sudden, as this spell is cast through the water once Bo is within range and hits you. How does it look underwater? As you're kind of Aquamaning through the water, I imagine.
Yes,
Bo, that's how you
I'm
move
like
around.
Aquaman in the water.
What does the spell do?
Well, I probably don't even manage to reach her before the spell activates. I kind of give Aura a little blow kiss, and with the bubbles emit from that, and they reach her lips, it immediately grants her the ability to breathe underwater.
Yeah.
Oh, and I'm feeling around my neck like I would imagine there'd be gills or something, and just trying to figure out like how I'm breathing.
I
Is
would
there anything?
think so, and that's probably really weird.
And I just feel like the gills on my throat, and just like move my hands slowly away from them and just feel at peace that I'm not drowning anymore.
You don't want to touch them.
Oh my God, when did you learn how to do this?
Just recently. Are you okay? Oh, I don't even know. How did we get here?
I don't know. My sword, and then I'll start like diving to my sword.
Yes, you guys take a brief look around you. It's pitch black. Considering the image that I'm throwing up on the screen, it's pretty dark here. You have dark vision bow, I think, which allows you a little better insight into the area around where you are, and the area is very reminiscent of what you might expect the bottom of an ocean to look like. Just outside of your view, Aura, there is a seabed, rocky. Lots of silt and sand that make up an area here. There is no real creatures here that you can see. No fish, no sharks, no plesiosaurs or anything weird. Just kind of a big open stretch of water. There's no light pouring in, suggesting you're really far down. The pressure on your body is quite intense, but you seem to be, Bo, for one, completely at home. Just literally fish in water right now. If anything, Bo, you probably feel stronger. You've got a sensation now where you're kind of surrounded by your literal element here. Aura, you probably should have been crushed by the pressure, but you're not. You certainly feel it. It feels odd. You can't swim the way Bo can. You can swim relatively well, I would assume, but you can't do the crazy Aquaman thing, and you begin to swim downwards before you lose sight of the sword. I think, Bo, you moving around here, you can see that the seabed here is rocky, and then it gives way to a kind of opening, a clearing of silt and sand, and you can recognize that there is some stuff down there, but you're going to have to swim closer to it. It's going to be a lot more difficult. You're going to have to get really close to stuff before you can see it, and you start to swim down towards your sword. However, assuming you both begin to move around and just quickly investigate the area, that's kind of what you maybe do for the next 30 seconds. Aura, you can breathe. It feels weird, but you can. It doesn't make any sense. You're breathing in, and you should be. It's probably a moment of like psychological distress where you're forcing yourself to breathe in underwater, but it just feels as if you're up on the surface. There's no pressure to the lungs, even though you probably have a little burning from before. You swim downwards, and just as the sword hits the bottom of the ocean and you grab it, Bo, you maybe will discover this kind of opening where you can see some strange stuff. It looks like stuff, not rocks. It looks like there's a line of things down there. And it's around there that your drift globe fell to.
All right, yeah, I'll definitely look for that as I look for Suna and Ellie. Can I sense that they're here?
Okay, give me 2 perception checks. One with advantage and one without. The one with advantage is to sense the other 2.
So really fast, I have dark vision.
Oh, you do?
I up to 60 feet, so can I see down here too?
Oh, then yeah, 100%. Yeah, sorry, I didn't
Okay.
think tieflings got dark vision. I'm sorry, I didn't realize. So actually you can see just as much as Bo can. It doesn't, it's kind of grayscale, a bit like how the others are experiencing things, but yours is more just that you have like infrared vision, you know, it's that kind of a thing. Yeah, you can see that you're now at what looks like the bed of an ocean. Once you get down towards the bottom, you're still swimming, but you can see that there's rocks. There is other little things down here that look similar to the creatures that you might expect to find on a normal ocean bed. There are things that look kind of like a barnacle, things that look kind of like a starfish, but they're a little different. They're a little strange and alien, but that's probably to be expected from the deep sea. The form of Bo swims to another area where after you pick up your sword, you'll be able to see that there are these metallic looking stakes that are planted into the ground. Not meat stakes, but stakes like pikes, like poles that are in the ground. They all have a kind of dish-shaped thing on top of them. Kind of odd looking from far away. Bo, you can see where your drift globe has landed. It's landed at the center of where these stakes are. There are 7 of them, and they look like they're made of metal. They're strange looking things, and as you swim over towards them and swim above the first 3, you can see your reflection in the dishes on the top. They're mirrors. They're like stakes with a little supporting thing, like you might find on a small mirror. What are they called? Those little bathroom mirrors. They have the little the little arm kind of attached to the sides of the mirror. It looks like you can move these mirrors around. They look old and sunken. They're just stakes with mirrors on top. And as you swim over them, you catch your reflection, maybe give it the finger guns and swim down, and you can snatch up the drift globe again.
I will most certainly do that.
Yeah. With regards to the sensation of Ellie and Sauna, there's no way they're here. No way. You have a pretty good sense that once again you have returned to that stretch of ocean which is just ocean, much larger than the ocean that you find on Lacrin, but roughly the same size, except more, as if that Lacrin had no surface land. If there was no land, no Donderol, no Alexandria, no nothing, just water, it would be about that much, as if the entire Earth was water and we removed everything. You get the sensation that that's how much ocean is around you. There's nothing but ocean. And in all of that sea, there is nothing else like you two.
Well, because I can pick up this sense, I immediately swim back to Aura to tell her, you find your sword, Aura?
Did I find my sword?
Yeah, you've got it back. It feels different, and it looks cleaner.
Okay. I did. It's more heavy down here.
It is. And speaking of down here, we are surrounded by nothing but water. I sense no land. I don't even sense Ellie and Sauna.
Can you like make some land? Like, can you part the water? Or?
I think there's too much of it for me to, contain. But there is something over here that is rather curious.
What is it?
I immediately point to where the stakes are. Here,
Yeah.
come, I'll show you. And so I start swimming my way over there.
I'll follow, and I'll awkwardly try to put my sword into my sheath, and then like kind of. I feel like it looks probably pretty awkward with me swimming with like a sword flapping around.
Yeah, you
behind
guys
me.
have got like clothing on, armor, boots, bags. For Bo, he can maneuver the water around himself, so he can literally make himself like dry underwater if he wanted. Technically, he could just move the water off of himself and remove it from his hair and stuff, right? Technically, if he wanted to do, you can get crazy, Bo. You're unbelievably powerful underwater, but not to the sense where, like you said, you could lift a continent up or remove
yes,
all the
exactly.
water and just launch it into space or something. But you certainly have a great deal of control over the water around you. And in terms of your sense and connection to the water, it seems to be boundless. You can almost sonar the whole thing, and the sensation of that is probably a little overwhelming and also comforting, to however you want to interpret it again. As the two of you swim over, Bo effortlessly and Aura probably awkwardly, big giant great big sword weighing you down. It's probably difficult to swim, but you can do it. You move over towards where these 7 metallic looking things are. When you get there, you can see that they're like stakes that have been embedded into the ground, with pretty large mirrors on them, probably the size of 2 dish plates, kind of in size, like double the size of that. And they have these mirrors, and they're angled in different ways. It looks like it would be very easy to angle them, but they look old, not rusted, but just old. There are these weird barnacle-type creatures, and as you get closer, they look a little more like snails, longer, thinner than a barnacle should be, but they're kind of attached to this thing. You can see a thing that looks like a starfish, and upon closer inspection, this starfish has lots of little tendrils coming off of it as well that shift and change color. They're sitting on the mirrors, on the stakes, and stuff like that. The mirrors are fully reflective, even though they aren't, they're kind of old looking. They have, some of them have got like a starfish thing on them. You can see that you could move them pretty easily. I don't know if you try it, but it moves. If you touch one, or you mess with it, or even use the ability of the water to push one of them cautiously, you can see that they move around, and very easily. Just like as if they're brand new, but again, they look very old. There's 7 of them in a line. Each one is about 15 feet apart from the last one. A direct line that moves across this flat piece of kind of silt and sand. That's it. There isn't anything else here apart from the drift globe that you've already found.
What do we do? Do we move them? Like maybe we grab one and like, I used to read in some of the books, like in tombs, the light would come in and you'd angle the light and bounce it off of each other. Maybe it's something like that.
We could try. Let's see. And I'll immediately start rotating the one at the back.
Yeah, there's no light. You're in pure darkness.
Well, I guess that's a problem then. We have no light source, and I look up and it's just total darkness.
How about, can I do my cantrip to make like a little light? You know which one I want to use, right? Thaumaturgy? I can't say it.
Thaumaturgy.
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 Every time.
I know.
Thaumaturgy.
I always assume it's prestidigitation.
That's my word.
Because there's a spell called prestidigitation that took me 3 years to learn how to say. And I still struggle through it. So you manifest a minor wonder, a sign of supernatural power within range. You can create one of the following magical effects. Your voice booms. You cause flames to flicker. And you can cause harmless tremors. You can create sound. You can cause an unlocked door or window to fly, open or slam shut. You alter the appearance of your eyes. Can you use? I feel like I've been around this before. Whether you can use thaumaturgy to create light. I'm just gonna check because I don't want to.
I always thought I could, but maybe it is only adjust the flames.
Well, there's a couple of other cantrips that create light, and that usually if there's like one, there's a specific cantrip called light that lets you create light, and usually if that exists, then there's a reason it doesn't mention it in this. I think it allows you to snuff and change the colors of existing lights, but let me see. I just want to know whether you can create and manifest light. You can brighten a torch. You can make it change color. Roll me an Arcana check.
Okay.
Because I don't know. Oh wow! I just turned the music off. That's great. No, I didn't.
14.
A 14. Yes, you can manifest a small light. But it would be the equivalent of like a lighter, but small, not a flame necessarily. It can be just a little dot of light. But it's certainly not like a bright torch or an eye torch or a huge like a sunbeam or anything like that. You can certainly do it. Yeah, I think you can sit and concentrate and create a small piece of light. Where do you do it?
I swim over to where Bo starts adjusting one of the mirrors. Like, here, let me try this, and then I'll like cup my hand and like focus really hard on it, and I look like I'm trying really hard to muster something up, and this like little ball of light just like floats up, and it's just a tiny little light that'll either help hopefully see what we can do down here, or maybe we can position it too.
Yeah, roll me a d8.
Okay. Oopsies. 7.
A 7 is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. You see the little light appears. The reflection creates a thin little beam of light that seems to go directly upwards from where the mirror is. You creating the light creates a reflection, but the reflection sends a line of light directly up. Let's say this thing is pointed directly up towards the surface. It would go up vertically. The difference being that the light you create maybe is white or a yellow flame kind of color. The color that is reflected out is indigo.
Oh, that's weird. That's weird, right?
That is definitely something. I may have something as well that may help us, and I then pull out the drift globe.
Yes. Lucky you got that thing, huh?
Yes. Oh boy.
Lucky you remembered it was in the pack, or maybe it manifested during whatever happened last time. We just don't know. Yes, you have a little orb that is small thing, wondrous item. The ability of the drift globe is as follows: a small sphere of thick glass that weighs about 1 pound. You can speak a command word and cause it to emanate the light or daylight spell. And you can also make it float around and follow you, like a little thing, and create light. What is the command word?
Oh, well, it can be anything?
I don't know.
Oh, no. It could be anything. Oh, geez. Well, I immediately show it to Aura. I have this. It's a drift globe. There aren't many of these around, but I managed to pick it from a couple kids.
You stole it from some kids?
No, I borrowed it, but I just didn't get the chance to return it. But hey, it's well, if it weren't for this right now, well, not to say, your light doesn't help. It's just, well, it may not be enough.
Okay, what does it do?
This small orb will give us all the light we need, but I can't remember the spell to activate it.
I mean, I'm just asking, did you ask the kids what the spell was, or did you leave before you found out what the spell was?
I don't even think they knew what it really was. They called it the shiny rock.
Okay, maybe maybe shiny rock is the key word. Maybe that's how you turn it on.
And I immediately look at the drift globe and I utter the words, shiny rock?
Do you want the command word to be shiny rock?
It will be shiny rock.
Then yes, it lights up.
For the kids.
And are you going for the light cantrip or the spell daylight? Just to give you an idea, daylight is just a fuck off great bomb of light that will illuminate a 60-foot radius. So just it's in a huge column of light. Or the light cantrip is kind of like it's sort of like a fantasy torch in a way. It does about 10 feet. Yeah, 10 feet in any dimension, so you can kind of control it to a degree. And really does become essentially a small magical enchanted torch.
Well, I think we should definitely go for daylight. Bring us the sun.
Yeah.
Oh yes.
There is a moment as Bo looks at the rock and utters the command word "shiny rock," and then the entire area is lit up. This huge column of light appears, spreads out 60 feet across from where you are, and just engulfs this area. You can suddenly see everything in bright color. Your dark vision is switched out for your regular vision as you see now this seabed kind of grey, yellowy sand silt with hues of brown. The rocks around you covered in like a strange algae mostly. The metallic things that are stuck in the ground really don't change too much. Still a kind of that metallic blue hue to them. The reflection that was being cast of the small indigo line is just destroyed. It's just diffused out by this bomb of light. And 60 feet, you would, I guess, light up 3 of these mirrors, and nothing happens. It's just a huge. You're just in a gigantic column of light that goes up above you.
Well, maybe that's a little too much light. Yeah.
Can you turn it down?
Yeah, the shiny rock.
You doing the other one?
Yeah.
Yeah. The column of light is shrunk down now, and the orb itself is really just emitting a much smaller sphere of light. You can aim it to a degree to kind of like a hooded lantern might be able to do a thing, but I think as you bring all of the light back down to a much smaller amount, you suddenly now see that assuming you're keeping the spell going, aura of the small line of indigo, and now this drift globe is a much more manageable light. What do you do with it?
Well, I immediately sense that this is how it's supposed to go, and that wherever this indigo line is pointing, we need to make sure that the mirrors align the same way and shows that same indigo line.
Okay.
So I immediately start maneuvering the mirrors, and hopefully to find that the indigo line connects.
I'd try to help.
Give me an investigation check, both of you. Or Bo can do it with advantage, whichever one you want. I will let you either both roll, or Bo can roll with advantage. There it is. Bo's rolling 17. With advantage. We know who wears the trousers in this relationship pairing then. It is done. A 17. So Bo, you start moving around with the light and moving the mirrors, and I think both of you start messing with these mirrors. Roll me 2 d8s, or 2d8 would be fine because it'll still do the same thing. 5 and a 2. Let's see here. So the let's see if I can bring you over to a thing. You notice that as you bring the drift globe closer to the areas where the mirrors are pointed, the light from the drift globe reflects off of the mirror and creates a static shaft of colorful light. Once you move your thaumaturgy away from the first mirror that you lit up, you realize that it doesn't leave. The reflection remains stable. The color of, even though it's a thinner light than what the drift globe is providing when you shine it to another one, there is a static light that's now shining out of this thing. As you move the thing around, it just point it in a direction and it sends a shaft of light in one direction. You light up one of them, Bo, as you swim past, and you see that a green light appears out of the top of it. And then you light another one up and an orange light appears out of it. I'm just going to, because it's so much easier to describe this using a map thing here, bring you over to this, which is just a set of circles, but it will allow me to explain a little better where each thing is. For some reason, this doesn't work, so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to draw on this beautiful map here and ruin the artwork, the pure artwork that exists. I'm going to put a little color in the colored cross in the area where the lights are that you've lit up here. And as you move past this one, it is orange. As you move past this one, it is green. And the indigo one that you lit up, is that indigo? Yeah. It's definitely not important, Brad. Don't worry about it. Is this one. The lights remain. The indigo one is very thin, however. And you guys start messing around. Now, the lights are kind of going all over the place.
It's like almost rainbow colors. You've seen a rainbow, right?
Yeah, but I'm only seeing 3 different colors here.
Well, I know, but I'm just saying, like, all of these colors are part of a rainbow. I wonder if these other ones will light up. Can I move my little ball of light to another one that's not lit up and see if it does anything?
Sure. Which one?
Just the one. Let's go to the one that's further out on the indigo one and the one to the right of that.
The one to the right of that. Yeah, it's a similar color. You'd probably go ahead and say maybe it's violet in color, ignoring the non-specific colors I'm using there.
And then I would quickly go down the line with my little ball of light and do it on each of the rest of them.
Yeah, you do that, and probably Bo does as well, shining the lights that you have into these mirrors, almost activating a shaft of light from each one. And you see that it does indeed create a kind of rainbow of colors. And now we're all going to sing the rainbow song. Red and... I'm kidding. We are not going to do that. I will end the stream. I'm kidding. It might kill me if I was to sing it, though. That's not blue. One of them is wrong. All right. The yellow one that's there is... I did have tokens, but they don't exist, and I don't know why. There you go. That one's blue. Leave it alone. Don't just shush. It is. Yes. The 7 mirrors, eventually, when you shine the light on them, send out these shafts of colorful light. Red, then orange, then yellow, then green, then blue, then indigo, then violet. Once you've lit all of them up, they're all maneuverable in a way. But yeah, what do you do next?
I have an idea. Let's angle them all to make so they all touch each other in the middle. Like angle all the lights so that they connect.
Okay, all right, let's do that then. So following Aura's instructions, I try to maneuver the 3 on the left to face the middle.
I do the same to angle them all to make a super beam.
A super beam. Yes. You guys spend a moment swimming back and forth, moving these and angling them so that each of them is sent to a center point, right? And they each connect. You do so successfully. As the lights connect, you begin to see something materialize in the area at the point in which they connect. It's maybe 30 feet above where you are. Looking up at this thing as maybe we see Bo maneuver the last shaft of light into place, and the two of you looking up, you see the lights form a kind of shimmering mirror for a second. Give me perception checks.
12.
23.
23. In the light, Aura, it's hard to see clearly. It's a strange thing. Every time your eyes focus, it's washed away as if it's on the water, kind of. Bo, for you, it's very clear. You can see Ellie, and you can see Sauna through what kind of looks like a mirror or a window, but kind of reflected. There's a lot of color kind of refracting across the image almost. You can make out these two your two companions looking through this thing. For you, Ori, you can see the same thing, but it's really hard to make out. Like, it almost hurts your eyes to look at. There's a moment as the two of you begin to concentrate looking at this thing, and you can see that they're both looking up into the stars. There is a huge set of stars above them. Absolutely not the stars that you're used to looking up into a night sky and seeing. There's way more than you would ever expect. The two of them standing there kind of looking up at this field of stars. You begin to see a face form in the stars beyond them. And that's where we're going to switch back to the other two.
Holy.
So, it has been 3 days since we last saw you two.
Wow. All right. Okay.
And you guys have been traveling across the hot sands, the desert, and getting closer and closer to where this tower is. The two of you, by luck and chance, need no sleep, nor food, nor rest, I believe. Is that correct? You're both.
Yes.
I need food. Yes.
You need food.
I don't need sleep or air, but food is nice. Yes.
Do you have any food?
I have rations. They're not great, but
Okay.
I'll
I still have
survive.
my rations too.
Right. So you have been traveling now, much like the beginning of the campaign when we first came to Dustvale, and you as a group were traveling across this desert, and it was pretty arduous. The two of you struggling a lot less than last time. Even though you need food, Sauna, and you have these rations, I feel like there's an element where it's not as pressing as usual.
All right.
You're not feeling a huge hunger from traveling. You're not feeling like you need about half of the amount of food that you would normally eat. You still eat. You still need to eat. You need to
Right.
sustain yourself. You don't need sleep. You guys don't need traditional rest. Ellie is just able to walk endlessly forever. She could walk around and round the earth over and over and over again, and never die because she's already dead. For you, Sauna, it's maybe a little more tiring eventually, just based on the food thing, but pretty similar. And so the two of you walked and walked and walked. No real soreness to your feet and ankles, just the warm sands and then the cool nights. Again, the heat of the desert does not affect you anywhere near as much as it used to, specifically Ellie. The cold of the desert night is nowhere near as intense as it was both the last time you were here and when you were alive, Ellie. And eventually you guys came to the tower itself. Looking up at this thing, it now stretches into the sky. The beam of light that stretches up out of the top of the tower here is lost to you. You can see the brightness being emanated from the top of it. The tower, all you can see is stone stretching what seems like upwards endlessly into the sky. You certainly can't see the top, and it's not even as though it's lost in the clouds, which are still. The tower is just, it looks endless. The closer you get to it, the taller it seems to get, and eventually it bends upwards into the sky infinitely.
This is my tower, right? I've climbed this one before.
Oh yes.
Oh yes. All right. Well, Ellie. Oh, sorry.
Sorry, no, you go. You're looking up at this stone tower.
Well, Ellie, we're in for a very long climb, which is probably fine because you can do that without sleeping.
Do you need help climbing?
I should be fine. I just might be a little bit of a slower pace than you, which is fine. It'll give us time to chat, right?
Yeah, you can tell me all about Toby and how much you like him.
Now, listen, I don't want to talk about Toby or anything of the sort. But I would like to talk about you.
There's not much to say about me, is there?
I think there's lots to say, Ellie. You just choose not to, and that's okay. But if we have quite the climb, and if you don't mind, I do have a couple of questions.
All right, I might have answers.
Why an assassin?
I was born into it. I didn't really have a choice.
What does that mean? Does that mean you're born and then they say, oh, this child is going to be an assassin? Do they use like magic to sense your innate ability or how well you can be trained? What exactly does that mean?
Well, some people, I mean, they really do just get born and they're destined to just become assassins. It's their bloodline.
I didn't think you believed in destiny.
Well, I didn't either until all of this happened.
So you do believe we're destined to be together, to climb this tower and to smite God?
I suppose if I didn't believe it, I would have killed you all by now, wouldn't I? Gone back to my old life.
And what about your old life is so appealing?
It's just what I knew. It's what I did.
And will you go back to it when all of this is over?
I won't go back the same. I'll go back.
I mean, obviously. Although you're doing really well with that breathing, the fake breathing thing. It looks great. Yeah, no, very good.
Yeah, well, still freaked my leader out, so...
Yeah, and you should maybe... In fact, if you do go back to the whole assassinating thing, you should totally stop the breathing when you approach, because that's terrifying. I would be terrified if you approached... I mean, I'd be terrified if you approached me in general. No offense. But then if you stopped breathing... Oh, willies.
I mean, if I stopped breathing, they wouldn't hear me coming, would they?
That's very true. Unless you made sounds with your feet or something like that, I guess.
True.
I'm just wondering, so from the moment you were born...
No, I had a family once.
Well, tell me about that. Tell me about your family.
Well, they disappeared. I don't know what happened to them. Mom died young, and Dad disappeared when I was about 10.
Well, that's horrific and like something out of a novel. All right. So your mother dies, and then your dad disappears, and then what?
That's when Zach took me in, made me a part of the assassins.
Zach, okay, and he's like some big fancy swashbuckler or something?
He's the leader.
Right. So he sees this young girl and just decides, okay, I'll take her in and turn her into a killing machine?
No, it's not that simple. Let's just say it ran in the family bloodline. That's what they think, at least. I didn't believe him, but I was one of the better assassins.
Oh, so innate. I do believe in the power of blood. I do believe in that very, very much. So you won't find a denier here. All right, so... Well, I'm sorry, Ellie, but that's tragic. You didn't have a childhood.
That's all I know. Well, I had a choice. I had a choice when they initiated me.
Did you really, though? If it's all you ever knew, how would you choose anything different? Oh, well, that's not a choice. That's not a choice, Ellie. Your choices should be what flavor of ice cream would you like, you know? Raspberry or blueberry, not death or become a killer.
I'm not that bad.
Okay, I'm a little out of breath here, even though I'm not. I just want to sit down for a second.
All right. I look around. Is there anything around here? How far do you think we made it up?
Give me perception or investigation checks if you want, just general info.
May I? I'm just wondering if I remember how long of a trek it was.
Yes.
I feel like it was a couple of days, right?
you can roll a check.
Which just perception?
Any check you want.
All right.
You can roll a medicine check for this one.
6
Natural
for perception.
1. So, first of all, Ellie. Ellie's looking around while you guys take a moment. You get to the foot of this tower after these several days have passed. And maybe you are, as you have this conversation, you're heading up a grand stairway that leads you towards an opening. The steps that you're stepping up as you move up these are large. They're big, like full. You have to kind of bring your entire leg up to get onto the next step. They're also wide, and you have to take a few steps to get to the next area to climb up. The stairway is big. The entranceway, as you get to it, and maybe at the top step, this is where Sauna says she wants to sit. You look at the entranceway, and it's a large opening, no door. Just you can see into another kind of well made. It's not a crazy looking tower. There's nothing really intricate about it. It's pretty much just grey stone, standard looking tower. While Sauna, you've seen this tower change. You've seen it embedded in the rock. You've seen it intricately carved with like gold inlays and stuff. Today, the tower looks pretty bland. Not new or old, but
terrifying.
Just grey stone blocks and grey stone slabs. But the closer you get to it, and the further up the walkway you get, the bigger it becomes. The doorway looks big enough for 4 giants to be stood on top of each other to step through.
The Tower of the Gods.
Each of the steps is getting bigger. You look at these enormous steps, and you can see on the inside a curving stairway that leads up around the outside of the inside of the tower that goes up and up and up. And there's a weird sensation like you are small. Like you've been shrunk down to the 1/8 of a size, and you're stepping up to what would be one of our human towers. It feels like that, I think. You feel a bit Alice in Wonderland-y as you
And it wasn't like this the last time I climbed it, correct?
No, you fit relatively well. It seemed human.
Right.
But you are aware that it's the same tower.
It's my tower. It's just different, a little off.
Yeah.
Right.
On a 1, you really don't get any new information apart from this, and you may interpret it however you wish.
I think I'm staring at Ellie. I think I'm focused on her tragic story of her childhood. Too busy to look at the tower, really.
Right, but you know, being here in this place, that this is indeed the tower that you've climbed before, but you never will again.
What?
That's all you
Right. Okay. All right. Well, so Ellie, you see this stairway here while we're resting.
Yeah.
You see down, and where do the stairs go here? And I gestured down, back the way we came.
I mean,
out to the desert.
Yeah. They go back to where we came from.
Right. And what about behind us there? Where do those go?
Are you pointing up?
I am.
Okay. They go up.
All right. Well, it doesn't seem like we have much choice. We either go down or up.
Okay.
Similar to your childhood, right? But it's not really a choice.
Yeah. I guess I see what you're saying now.
And that's why your tale is tragic.
Well, I just never looked at it that way.
Death or killing people. And you say you made the choice, but you didn't really. It's not like they said you can go and go to an orphanage or another home or something like that where someone would take care of you the way someone should take care of a child. Instead, they turn you into a killing machine. Which you're very good at that, by the way. You excel.
I'm all right, I guess.
I just wish you had maybe other concerns as a child.
Yeah, well, if we figure this out and get out of this limbo, maybe it's something I can consider changing, in the future.
Would you?
I'd make some changes, yes.
Like what? If you don't mind me asking.
I'd take the envelope out, the velvet envelope out, and I would pass it to Sauna.
What's this? What? All right. What am I looking at here? Did I open it? May I open it?
Yeah, you can open it. It's already open.
All right.
And when you do open it, inside it will contain Bobo's name.
What am I looking at? This has Bo's name on it.
That's the person I'm supposed to kill next.
What? Why? Well, you're not going to do it, surely.
Well, that'd be the change I made.
Oh, Ellie. This is a very big moment. I'm very proud of you.
Yeah, well, I've already made a lot of mistakes and had to kill people that I actually cared about, so I'm not gonna do that again.
And what will you do? Won't they be angry or send someone else or?
I'll take care of that.
So
maybe with your guys' help, we can take care of that and have a change in leadership. Don't share that though. We don't need to freak out.
I would never.
They already think I'm a vampire.
Yeah. Yes.
So,
I mean,
prefer.
All of this does have me thinking about, what might come after, assuming we're not too late already.
Yeah.
But I'm glad to hear you don't want to go back to the same old. Now, I think I will tell Toby how I feel and maybe we could make pie together. I mean, actually make pie.
Is that like
no,
some
but
sort of
would
slang
that no, it's
that
not.
I don't know about?
No, he just has a very lovely raspberry patch, and he wins every year. He wins every year at the food festival.
See, I don't need to know about Toby's raspberry patch either.
Listen, I'm not the euphemism, but also yes, that I'm sure he has that as well. But I every year he wins at the food festival with his raspberries, his jam, everything. So maybe we could make pies together.
So you don't want me to kill him? Because I remember earlier where we were talking about maybe killing him and.
No.
Okay.
I don't want that.
All right. Then you'll get a pie and I'll get a new leader. And I take back the envelope if you give it back.
Oh yes. I'm sorry.
And I'm like, just keep this between us for now.
Absolutely.
We have enough on our plate.
Will you do me a favor?
Sure.
I have children in Dustvale.
All right.
And I don't think if something should happen to me, do you think you could deliver something for me?
I can do that.
And I reach into my pouch and I pull out my daughter's wind chime that she made. Little tears in my eyes, and I just hand it over kind of quickly to Ellie.
I take it and carefully, I don't really look at it, I just carefully place it in a pocket.
And if you could explain that I didn't mean to be gone for so long, I just didn't know the way home.
I'll be sure to tell him.
Thank you. All right. Enough of that. Should we keep climbing?
You good to go?
Yeah, I'm great. Okay. I'm great.
I think like there'd be like just one little moment where Ellie looks at Sauna and there's actually like a shred of sorrow in her eyes, and then it's gone, and she turns around and walks away.
Same.
Yeah. And the two of you head into that very large opening, and I assume begin moving up and up and
Yes.
up and up.
Up and up and up. And I immediately returned to my normal self where I'm just yapping away and talking about all sorts of stuff. And
I start asking about pies because I've never
Oh
the
cooked.
best
my
way to
goodness! I
make
can
a
tell
pie.
you. I can tell you all about pie, and normally it depends on the pie, right? Because you've got the under crust on the bottom, and then you could do pies where you lay crust on top. I'll keep going until you want to take over. Good omnipotent voice.
Both of you roll me a D12.
Okay.
Oh dear God. 11.
4.
Wow, it takes you 15 days.
15 days?
Oh, wow, that is quite the climb.
So, I know that's a lot
15
of time
days. That's a lot of time.
for you
Are
to.
Ellie and I best friends now?
Yeah, so you.
I think we're quite close, actually. If Ellie's okay with that.
No, I think that Suna would have been able to pry more information about
Oh,
Ellie's past out of
absolutely.
her.
Yeah.
So, you will
That's
have.
a long time.
Yeah.
That's longer than we've been on this adventure
I
so
know.
far.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
And the 3 days that you've already been traveling brings you up to 18 in total. Together here,
All
just
right.
in this time. Traveling
Okay.
and you can discuss, because we're going to go to a break in a minute, like any
Oh, great,
specific
thank
or
you.
important things that you want to go over. But yeah, you begin climbing this tower. There's plenty of times where even though you don't feel fatigued, and actually the higher up you climb, the less you rely on food, Sauna, the less you feel the sensation of wanting to rest if you
Like
do, or anything
when
like that.
when I first approached the pearl like that,
Yes.
where yes, all right.
You climb this thing, but one of the reasons it quote takes you so long to get to the top is that each of these steps gets a little larger as you step up on them, and it's only by
Right.
a small amount. But stepping up these things at the beginning, it's like a big step, but by the final set of stairs, as you actually round towards the top of this thing, there you're climbing up them. You're having to lift up.
Well, I'm not climbing. I'm a weakling. I will levitate myself.
Right,
but
you're
yes.
levitating yourself up, whatever it takes. Ellie's probably just doing triple backflips, Assassin's Creeding up the wall kind of thing. But you guys are having to kind of climb up. What is
I'm
maybe
like telling her which trick to do, and then she's showing off, and I'm like, "Great, this is wonderful."
Right, yeah, you're like maybe having to climb up like these 6-foot blocks onto the next level. This tower is enormous. Once you get to the top thing, you either get the sensation that you're shrinking or that it's growing, but there is a significant change as you climb up this thing, discussing things, talking about this and that, saying nothing, biding your time, resting to recover any spell energy that eventually you find that you can spam levitate. You can just
Whoa.
keep casting spells without it using any energy from you whatsoever.
That's lovely.
The higher up this thing you get, relative to wherever. But again, by the time you get to the top, you feel as if you have shrunken down to a much smaller size, or as if the tower has grown to a much larger one. You come out at the top of the tower and step out onto a flat roof eventually. And the two of you walk forwards. You step out now, expecting probably an enormous top of the tower. And as you step through
course.
this giant doorway and step out into what looks like the night sky at first, it actually all shrinks back down and becomes more relative. A brief sense maybe of a little vertigo as you kind of feel this sensation of the door shrinking behind you as you step through it. The tower, the top of this tower, this kind of battlement, a flat, just simple flat stone round tower top, shrinking down around you until it becomes, it's maybe only about 50 feet across, and there's a light around you, this white light. Everything still appears to you as grey scale. The light doesn't really illuminate anything too brightly. It doesn't cause anything to distort, and you can still see through things clearly, but you know that you're now inside the light that was being emanated from the top, still sitting up and piercing into the sky. However, around the tower there is no longer a desert. There is just an expanse of what I think would appear to you at first as the night sky.
Oh no.
Just a huge field of stars slowly turning around you. And it probably from far away would look something like this, with the stars moving around you slowly but fast enough that you can sense it.
My
You can see
stars.
a kind of just endless darkness, a huge set of stars, just stars everywhere, with this light piercing upwards, and the tower below you. Some of those stars begin to form into a strange shape above you, and as you each step out and look upwards, you can see that these swirling stars, some of them begin to form a face, and then a kind of an upper body, masculine, but no real direct features. And Suuna, you understand this to be Savras, who is essentially the god of divination. And this face appears above you, and that's where we're going to go to a break.
I think I understand the meaning of the phrase, take the wind out of you, or lose my breath.
Yeah. All right.
Good Lord.
We're going to go to a short break here. Go grab a drink of water. And when we return, we will return to the water. We're going back under the sea. And we'll find out what the heck is going on. Maybe we won't. Maybe we will. Guess we'll find out after the break. Thanks for joining us. Go get yourself a drink, a snack. Sit in the chair silently, staring at the wall if you'd like. We'll be back in a few minutes. Thanks for watching. Blah, 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 blah.
Bye.
Bye. Welcome back. Underwater. Bo and Aura. You're watching this kind of silent image of Suna and Ellie look and speak to a face in the sky. They move out separately, but maybe step a little closer to each other as this face begins to appear. You see the kind of almost face open its almost mouth of stars when there's a flash of light in front of you, and moving towards you is a thing that you have witnessed before. The strange light creature that you had previously dueled with and had combat with appears at the area where all the lights are moving around. It's a very strange looking thing. It moves towards you. It disperses the refracted light of the rainbows that you have pointed into an area in such a way that they stop, they move and they shift for the first time since you lit them yourself. But they restabilize. However, the image of Suna and Ellie and this thing that they were interacting with is gone as this thing moves through and now begins to float down to the area towards you. It's a very strange creature that introduced itself last time with 3 different names, but is known as Deep Seychelles. It looks a little something like this, kinda. It's really just a kind of light. It has a vague form and shape, but it doesn't look like it's the type of thing that you could reach out and grab even. It's almost like a sentient gas or a sentient light that's moving towards you, and it flickers in different colors, mostly settling on kind of a white tone. It flickers and shifts and changes. It moves towards you, whereas last time it was quite large. This time it's a lot smaller. Before it was about the size of one of you. Previously it was a pretty big light, creating a lot of light around it. Now it's much smaller, and it moves slowly downwards towards where you are. Oh, you can feel that this thing isn't messing with you like it was before. Previously it was countering a lot of the stuff you were doing. Aura, you do get the sense that this thing is messing with you, but in a relatively gentle way. It's lifting you up towards where it is, as you're kind of on the ground or near where one of these mirrors are. You can feel the water lift you upwards, and you're just kind of pulled upwards towards where this light is as it settles down in an area above where the mirrors are, but away from where the reflected light is. The light flickers a couple times and says, "Remember me?"
Oh, yes. We do. What are you doing here?
I remember you. I think.
I can't say we started on a good foot. The last time we saw each other, we were fighting.
Why have you returned?
It's not like we wanted to come here. We woke up here.
Do you know where the Valotiar are?
The Valo what?
The Valotiar, my people.
No, you're the only one that we've seen of your kind.
It flickers a lot of lights. It moves quickly all of a sudden over towards where you are, Bo. Its lights flickering, moving around you a bunch. It doesn't interact with you, or you don't feel any sensation, but it's moving around where you are. It then slows down and moves backwards and says,
I sense no lie in you. Why are you here?
Well, me and Aura here, we were with our friends Suna and Ellie trying to fight off, I just remember a big, great Arctic wolf form of some. And then an explosion.
What is a wolf?
Well, anyway, it took form of that. It wasn't really that. I think it was like a god of sorts, but we were fighting it, or about to, when this explosion happened.
No. I'm the only god here.
Well, here, I guess, yes, but we were somewhere else. We honestly have no idea how we got here.
Where is somewhere else? How do I go there?
That's a good question. Aura, do you think you can detect a portal around here? To where we once were?
I could try.
you're trying to use your ability.
Yeah, but I also have this other thing.
Okay.
But I think I am just gonna do the portal.
Okay.
I'm gonna try to detect a portal.
Roll me I guess a wisdom check. I'm gonna roll a dice. Oof. Roll high.
So, man.
Just the wisdom on its own.
Oh, no.
3. You get the sense that there are plenty of portals here. But none of them are open. And they would seem locked, like a locked door to you right now. It's like a weak thing. The closest one to you, though, is just above where this light is hitting. You get the sense that what you were looking at, the kind of window that you were looking through, is pretty much the same thing as one of your portals. But stuff is strange. Stuff is changed. Something's weird, something's wrong. It doesn't feel the same as it has done before. You still have the ability to do it, but at the moment, it's almost like the signal is weak, that kind of a sense. At the moment, it's locked, and you don't actually have the ability to use it right now.
So, you know how I have this small portal skill? Would that be something where I could manifest a portal?
The little portal gun move you've got?
Yeah.
You could probably do that because that's localized. It's just a thing where you open one here and then another one within 10 feet, and it's almost like a quick blip. Because that's really you messing with the plane you're on. You are at the moment locked from all other planes, or other planes are locked from you, one or the other.
It's not. There's one where all the lights meet, but I can't feel it very well. It's like it's there, but it's different. I don't know if that's much help, but
I then immediately turned to the glowy lights, less. How do we get out and reunite with our friends? I ask it.
Friends is like a Guan Lam. Like a brother?
Well, no, we're Suna and Ellie. I don't know if you remember them either, considering you don't even really quite remember us. I can see that they're in that mirror, and I point to the mirror where all the lights had shown, and well, Ellie and Suna are looking up at this figure.
Yeah, it's gone. It's not there anymore.
Oh, it's not
The lights are still converging, but there is no mirror window thing that you can see through.
Well, then I guess I turn to my surprise. It's no longer there. So I stop, explaining. Well, I guess they're not there anymore.
You could see them. When I looked, it was like I could see it, but not really. Was I imagining that?
No. What was happening was, I'm sure you were seeing the very same thing. They were looking up at this figure in the starry skies. It was, I don't know. I just hope they're safe where they are.
Okay, maybe I can try to find them. I'm reading through this, Brad. Can I use my ethereal step to try to find them?
You can consume it once per day use and find out whether you have the power to do it.
Oh, I'm gonna do it.
Roll me another wisdom check. I need to roll again. Oof, you need to roll even higher than last time. I'm sorry. Things are hard now. This is harder to do than it should be.
Can I have advantage because I'm feeling good now that I can breathe underwater?
I'm afraid you cannot.
Okay. Oh my god.
Wow, another 3. Hey, you roll 3 of those and you get to do some crazy stuff on Gone on Wednesday.
Oh god.
So you do have the ability to do something new here. You've come into a new set of powers that have unlocked in you a sense of strength, potentially given to you from somewhat completing the trials that were behind the door. You have the ability to step into the ethereal plane, which is like a place between worlds almost. You can step out of this reality and into another plane, another dimension. You've been doing it kind of all the time. You're no longer on Lacrin as you know it. You're in whatever plane of existence this is. You've been doing it plenty of times. You now have a pretty decent grasp on the idea of how you would do that, and I think for just one moment Aura blurs out of existence and then remains stable. Though you did use the spell, again, you have to summon up like a crazy amount of power right now, and it's just, you are just unable to do it, and it doesn't seem like a fault of your own, just a fault of circumstance. It's this place, you're just like, you feel like you're locked in right now.
I don't feel very strong here.
Thought for a moment I lost you. You disappeared and reappeared in an instant.
Stuff feels different. I feel like I want to help, but I can't. I'm sorry.
No, it's this place. We need to get out of here. I then turn once again to Shameless. You gotta help us. We can't find a way to leave here, but we have to.
Leave. I would like to leave too.
Well, then perhaps we can arrange something where we all leave together.
There is nowhere else.
That's impossible. There always is somewhere else. How else did we get here? We came from somewhere else.
How did you come here?
I already explained it to you. There was an explosion and we got separated from our friends. I don't know how we ended up here.
From where did you come?
Well, Aura opened a door to a wondrous place full of vegetation. unicorns. There were unicorns. We were flying on unicorns.
What is a
We were-
unicorn?
I guess there is much you still have yet to see, but they're strange creatures. I'll say that much. Anyway, there are worlds out there, and we need to go back to. Well, we can't go back to our world just yet. We're in the middle of saving it, but you have to understand. We have to get back. We were on our way to this mountaintop, from what it looked like.
You were betrayed.
Betrayed? No, we weren't betrayed.
Something was taken from you.
Well, I'd say our world is being taken from us, yes, by Ahi.
Ahi.
Our world is
Yes.
now under, well, snow.
Flickering crazily with colors. He starts moving around. Again, he moves over you and then moves over towards where you are, Aura, kind of doing circles around you for a moment, flickering with all sorts of different colors before he moves to the center of where you are.
I recall this name. The betrayer.
Do you? Well, he's no friend of ours either.
Where is he?
I wouldn't be surprised if he's somewhere nearby. He's been right at our tail since the very beginning. It's as if this whole thing has been but a game to him.
Game. A race?
Yes, we were all set to a race against time.
A race. Yes.
How do you know that?
My Guanlam and I were to race. Yes. I remember an order to save our people.
Yes. You were set to a race yourself?
I was the winner, and my brother was cast out into an abyss.
Well, I'm sorry to hear that.
I was to race him, and I was placed here.
Like a prison?
Prison, a cell, a boundary. Yes, they called it a boundary. It is mine, my own place, my own cell. I am deep sachetlas. Confusing colors and shapes. The last feeling I recall was betrayal. Something taken from me.
What, do you remember what it was?
No.
Was it something that meant a lot to you?
Or someone?
It was... I do not know.
It would appear you can't quite recall a lot of things. But I guess it does make sense in a way. When we went through Ellie's door, did she not have to follow the same thing where she would have to eventually take over that realm? What if... Okay, I can't help but feel you were perhaps in the exact same race we are in right now, but at a different time, much earlier. And what if that had failed? Maybe that's why you feel betrayed, because it's still happening.
Of course.
The world is still ending.
I am the winner. But I did not win.
No. Everything is dying out there in the snow.
Snow.
And will.
Snow
if it
is
doesn't
like
stop.
ice.
Yes, yes.
My
Our
Guan
world
Lam,
is
my
ice.
brother, he was able to control ice, much as I am able to control water.
I can control both water and ice.
Oh, what is your brother's name?
I don't know.
Surely you must. It's your brother.
No.
Would your brother want to hurt others?
Hurt others. I don't know.
Could I turn to Bo? Could his brother be the one that's making it snow?
I have no idea. It could be very possible, yes, because, well, he's stuck here. But here's the thing: he claims he won that race. Wouldn't he be free?
You would think.
It just doesn't make sense.
I have that stuff that I got to make Suna memory tea.
Right.
We're underwater. Can I just smash a bunch of these herbs together and see if this creature will drink the memory tea?
Are you gonna try and make tea under the sea?
Yes.
Yeah.
And
Why
there's
not?
the title of the episode. I mean, I don't see why not. Give me, this would be a survival check, I suppose.
Okay.
You don't have a kit to try and do these things to give you a bonus. You, grab a load of herbs and just start mashing them together underwater, yeah? You see all of this kind of diffusion of tea in the area where you are, and it's just kind of spreading out all over the place. The light is flickering and moving around where you are, and it says to you while you're doing it,
What are you doing?
This is for you. I want you to. Can you drink things or absorb them, or take them on?
What is drink?
Okay. Well, what are you made of?
I am made of light.
Okay. Well, I want you to come over here, and you see how it's all a different color around this. It's like a ball of herbs. Honestly, I made you a tea. It might help your memory. Just swim around in it.
What is tea?
Tea is a drink.
You drink it, but that's not usually how you drink it. But these are different times.
What is drink?
Consume. To consume,
No.
Hydrate.
I then imitate like I'm biting into a burger. Consume. Nah. Consume.
Is this a greeting?
No, it's not a greeting.
Just do me a favor and just come be in it.
it floats down and sits in the tea for a moment. Two things happen. One, it begins flickering lots of different colors. Two, I need you, Aura, to make me a Constitution saving throw.
Oh, good.
Oh no.
Oh my.
Oh my jeez.
That's a natural 1. You are consumed instead of the tea.
Oh,
Oh no.
In a way. The light settles in your hand, bypasses the tea does nothing. and it goes into your hand and moves up along Aura's nervous system and through her body. You see, Bo, Aura's eyes light up and begin to flicker all of these different colors. 2 or 3 seconds pass where Aura is kind of twitching weirdly. She maybe says some weird words that are just not a language at all. They're just like weird utterings. And then Deep Seychelles comes back out via the same way, through the hand. Aura, you, because you failed, do take some damage. Roll me a d12.
All right. 11.
You take 11 psychic damage.
Oh, damn. All right.
And then, however, Deep Seychelles comes out and says,
I recall. I remember. I was. You are. The creature.
The what?
Its name. The creature you met. Large. Covered in. Chains.
Ice. Oh, chains. Chains.
What was its name?
Oh my god.
I'm a little frazzled, just kind of like discombobulated.
I can't remember.
you feel
the
like your
name.
memories were jumbled
Yeah.
for a moment. They're back now, but you feel like your memories were. Someone went through rifling through like a file of facts or whatever it's called.
Rolodex.
Rolodex. File of fact is the thing that we get in the UK as children.
You probably, if you look at me, my eyes are like cross-eyed for a minute, and then, what is he asking?
He's asking for the name of the creature we met that was in chains. It was trapped.
I don't.
I can't remember,
Oh,
but I know of who he speaks of.
yeah. Chiba?
Was it?
No.
Chiba. Chiba.
The lights flicker and go crazy. They rush towards you, Bo, and they settle right in front of where your glasses are.
Oh, jeez.
They're flickering endlessly. All sorts of different colors. Mostly warm colors. Then it settles on an icy blue. And the creature says,
You will take me to him?
Well, I don't know if we can go back to him.
You will take me to him.
Why do you want to see him?
He is my Guan Lam.
What does that mean?
My brother?
You're
That's your brother. I don't know if we can go back to him, considering we were trapped there and he set us free.
You will bring me to him?
I don't even know how we can get back there.
how would we even do that? I'm thinking about my portal skills. I can't use my portal gun to make a portal to Lord Chiba's palace, correct?
no, you can only use that to go like 10 feet. You could
Okay.
potentially open a portal to go back there if you wanted, though.
I mean, Bo, I could try to open up a way there.
I go up to Aura and lightly tap her on the shoulder, seeing as she's a bit discombobbled, and cast Cure Wounds. All right, well, if you're gonna do that, you're gonna need all the strength you can get.
Oh, does that mean that I got 11 back?
Yes.
Whoa.
This is
I just
amazing.
immediately feel like back to normal.
There's a headache.
Oh, thank you, Bo.
Of course.
Should we go? Should we try to go back?
Well, I think that's our only way of getting out of here, if we help Seychelles.
And then when Bo says that, I'm just going to try to open a portal immediately to Lord Chiba.
You still can't do it. You're still locked in.
Okay. I like try to channel all of my energy, and it's just like maybe you see a little bit of like movement, but it just kind of like looks like a ripple in the water.
What is she doing?
I can't do it, Bo. I don't know why.
Or I tried to create a portal here just now so we could get to your brother. There's no way of reaching him. We are trapped here. We are locked up somehow.
I can let you out.
You can?
If you will take me to him.
Yes, we'll take you to him if you help us. Yes.
Do you see the boundary fading?
The boundary fading. I look around.
Looks the same.
Well, then, upon my observation, I tell Sashalis, no, I don't see it fading.
Am I here?
Yes, you're here.
You will take me to him. I will diffuse my power onto you.
Well, meet me.
And you will take me to him.
Well, okay, yes, we will. We will take you to him, but you have to let us go.
The light flickers for a moment. It moves backwards from where you are, and then, in the same way that it approached Aura, it approaches you.
The tea. Hold your tea.
Oh, okay. And then I'm gonna just like I'm gonna grab the ball of herbs and pull it close to me, but very cautiously.
Not this one. This one.
Flickers towards Bo.
Okay.
Oh, so I hold Bo. I like grab Bo,
and I then hold on to Aura. Does he mean this?
I think he might mean you are my tea.
Oh,
I mean I don't know. Maybe he thinks people are tea. Don't let him go inside. It's really it's not.
No, it did not look pleasant. I didn't know. But I can't help but feel that that's exactly what it wants me to do.
Okay.
So I still have another hand holding on to Aura, and I then extend my other hand, reaching out to Sashalis.
The tea.
Moves down towards your hand. It moves towards your hand. You feel a sensation of this thing touching your skin. It feels probably warm for a moment, and then nothing. The thing disappears into your hand as if it was never there. There's no crazy sensation. There's no crazy change. You don't feel any different.
I immediately look at my hand to where it had entered, and I can see that there was no change indeed. I then turn to Aura. I don't even know what happened.
Maybe you're like the host for Shayla's. Well, we.
Oh no! It's inside me. Oh yeah.
It was
feeling my body up and down.
Okay, I'm gonna try to open the portal, and then I immediately try again to open up a portal to Lord Chiba.
Bo, will you allow her to do this?
Of course.
Okay.
Wait, what?
You have full control of this boundary. However, it's shrinking quickly. It's almost as if the sea is drying up, or as if the earth is shrinking in around you.
Oh, okay. Oh, I can definitely see what Sashalis meant. things are fading, and it's going fast. Aura, you're gonna have to do it now.
Okay. And I tried to cast a portal that goes up and then comes down over us to pull us through to Lord Chiba.
And that is precisely what happens. And the two of them are gone. Back at the tower, however. You guys,
Unbelievable.
you witness this face and body, half body form above you. So Una, you have a pretty good idea as to who this is. It's the legend that Mother Numera told you of a hero who rose up, known as Savras.
Savras.
The huge form stands above the two of you. It is just absurdly large, and it seems like it's light years away. It's literally creating itself out of the stars around. When it speaks, it's as if all of the stars are speaking. It's huge, it's loud, it's booming, and you understand it, both of you. The gigantic form in the sky opens up with a very simple question. Directed, you understand, towards you, Sauna. Savras says,
"You have an item. Yes. A gift from your mother."
Why, yes, I do.
An image.
I fumble into my bag while just staring. Yes, and I pulled out the paper.
The talisman. Your companions are vulnerable without it.
My companions, you mean Bo and Aura? They're alive?
Ahi will locate them. We have
Please
not
help.
much time.
Help me.
The stars form a smaller shape, a kind of humanoid body, but it loses some form. The head shrinking, the body shrinking. It creates a strange illusion as if it's moving closer towards where you are. It looks down towards across where you are, but then there's a sense of the air around you on top of this tower. The pressure shifts and changes a little bit. The form of Savras in the stars relaxes, I would say, for a moment. And it speaks again. It says,
The only creatures who can survive the cycles outside of the victors and defeated. Those that appear to you as a pantheon of gods, demons, devils of the 9 boundaries. The mortals that transcend the cycles are few, elemental in nature, those linked at a heightened level to chaos. The guardians of the chaos seals, born of her power.
The stars shift and change. The form of Savras remains, but they shift to make the symbols that were on the map that you were given, which has I will bring it back to you. This one, those kind of rudimentary symbols, the hourglass, the swirl, the fire, that kind of thing. They shift into those 7 symbols. Then another symbol appears, but really it isn't much of a symbol. There is a depiction, rudimentary depiction of you, Sauna, a rudimentary depiction of you, Ellie, Aura, and Bo. Kind of cartoonish, simplistic star drawings, pointillism that shifts.
The 8th gate is open. You can defeat him.
How? If he's anything as magnificent as yourself, I am filled with doubt.
He is beyond my power by an immeasurable amount.
And I am afraid we are not significant enough.
That may be true. Deoveki has but one weakness: chaos.
Right. Well, Ellie, say something.
Can I understand this? I didn't know if I could understand this, so I was like being quiet.
You fully. You can understand
Okay.
it. Absolutely.
And the last word he said was chaos or theos.
Chaos.
Chaos.
Chaos, okay.
I mean, luckily, you're pretty chaotic.
I look
Right.
behind me. Like, me?
Yes, you. Do you think I'm talking to?
I would argue I'm not that chaotic.
Well, maybe. Hopefully enough so.
We only killed a god of death. That's not that chaotic, right?
Maybe not. Excuse me. Is my mother really gone?
Your mother, my child,
Yes.
has gone.
Right. Right. Thank you.
Deoveki created the mortal realm, your world. But the stars belong to those that have fought and died. Chaos is an energy that rules beyond.
Can we save it? The mortal realm, that is.
Deoveki has never had the control over me that he had hoped. I believe I am the son of Chaos. Yelatra is my daughter. And you must make a choice.
A choice? What do you mean?
Deoveki has been weakened. An outside force. Beyond that of chaos. Harnessing that of chaos. He is injured. We are dying.
So, strike now and strike true is what you're saying.
I can send you now to Deoveki while he is weakened.
What about our friends? We can't do it without them.
Who is the chosen of the three?
I do not know. I mean, I have my suspicions.
Not me.
I think it's Aura.
I mean, she did have the nicest door. And there were a lot of gods in her door.
She also fits to everything about everything that was said and written about in the prophecy. Everything.
The Death Dealer.
She's the one that came back to warn us in that one area, the time area where I almost lost my eyes.
But again, I don't know for sure, but I do know she can't do it alone.
Well, we need her here too.
I cannot send you to this one. I can send you to your boundary. I cannot send you to another's boundary, where they currently reside.
Can you bring them here?
I can send you to the mortal realm of Lakrin, where you will wait out your fate with your people.
I'm sorry. Are you trying to tell me I have to choose between going home or trying to save everyone?
There are other worlds than these. I can send you away, far away, to where none of this matters.
We're not running. Do we look like cowards to you? I'm sorry. I forgot my place.
The forms of all of the symbols and the versions of you kind of vanish. Strange kind of shifts and changes. The form of Savras grows a little smaller again. It says,
You believe yourself weaker than a god.
I tried to tell her she's got some things she needs to embrace about herself.
Ellie, now's not the time for the pep talk.
I mean, I'm just saying you're more powerful than you think.
We're not going back. I reach out and I take Ellie's hand.
I'm not going back.
When does a creation become more powerful than the creator?
The moment it decides it is. Which
I
is
can
now.
send you to Deavaki. You can end all of this. You can ascend.
Ellie?
You know I'm here with you. I go where you go. It's kind of seeming like we don't have a choice.
I can send you to the place between.
But then how do we get to Deaveki from there?
The doorway is already open.
Right.
No door can stop. No door can stop me.
Send us there then. Send us as close to Aura and Bo as you can get us, please.
Step then through the doorway.
behind
Okay.
you, the door that you stepped through shifts and changes. There's no longer a stairway
Oh my
in
God.
there. There's just darkness.
Was the woman Ellie? From my vision, the woman stepping through the doorway, was it Ellie and not Aura?
No.
It's not this doorway.
Yes,
It is this doorway.
that's right.
Oh my. Then I squeeze Ellie's hand and I just, because I've told her about this vision, I'll say, this is the doorway. Are you ready?
I'm ready. You first.
Right. Well, how about together?
I guess that works for me too. And I think this is the first time you see Ellie be kind of affectionate towards someone as she reaches over and grabs Suna's hand.
Yes, and I squeeze it and then we walk a little bit towards the door. Savras, what will happen to you if we succeed?
I am already dead. I have lived eternal.
Well, thank you. Then I'll walk through the door.
You two
I'll
step
follow.
through the doorway.
Hello, kitten.
So Una,
Yes. Sorry, I have a cat.
you step through holding Ellie's hand.
Right.
However, when you come through the other side, you step into a white room.
The White Room.
The white room. As the features of the room develop, you see that it's the boundary that you've been sharing with the others. The center of the room where the broken pool was is now fixed entirely, and above it, sitting, is an hourglass. Inside, there is snow, which is falling to represent the sand, and there's not very much of it left. As you step through, on the other side of the room, there is another doorway, and stepping through that portal as a mirror is yourself. You see the woman step through, and you hear the voice of Savras say,
You have found yourself. Guide them.
and then you both step out into the boundary area that you guys had previously been in before. Both of you can roll me just wisdom checks. I'll add the rest myself. An 8 and an 11.
Oh, mine was a save. I'm sorry. Same thing though, right?
Yours is a save. I guess it's the same. Yeah, I would imagine so. Okay. Jesus. Doesn't matter.
Ooh.
So Ellie, you step through. I'd say you feel pretty much the same. You looking around this room, you see all of the doors are open. All of them are open to just darkness on the other side. They don't seem to go anywhere crazy or anything like that. You were going to ask a question?
I was just going to say, I think I've told Ellie about this vision, and I think she would know. Especially because as soon as I step through and everything's realized, I do have a few tears fall, actually. And I maybe squeeze her hand and gasp like, this is what I saw since day one.
Well,
Please
then everything
continue.
you saw was worth it. All those feelings. Any regrets? This is just proof that you did the right thing.
So far, yes.
Yeah.
I didn't really have a choice, did I?
Guess neither of us did we?
Sooner
Destiny.
you understand a lot more stuff as well. You have a really, really, really fucking good understanding of the Dying Order, of Deavaki, of Savras, of Mother Numera, of a lot of things. You actually have a really good understanding of outcomes and predictive
And why it's called the Dying Order, I imagine too, right?
measures.
All the gods are dying.
Well, what you understand now is that Deavaki created like physical things. Mostly what he created was order within chaos, which was an energy that exists outside of it. You understand this process of these cycles where heroes rise and replace the creator. There is supposed to be an endless cycle of change. The order is not unnatural or anything, but Deavaki, believing himself to be a god, straight up creating the concept of a god, defeats the first hero and then twists and changes the hero prophecy, installs these things called gods into a thing which is known as the Dying Order, at least in your tongue. When the cycle ends and the hero rises, they meet instead previous heroes of the cycles. They go through these doors or whatever they want to find. Yeah.
Do I understand that it has a double meaning? That, he said this is our dying order, but also his order is dying? Like, that is what we're trying to do?
I
is my level of understanding that far?
Understand that, yeah.
All right.
essentially here you have a third eye on your head that's open
right.
right now.
All
you
right,
just,
wide open.
You just opened up. Some of Savras, the god of divination's power, has now diffused into you. You're now the god of divination. So Deivaki eventually grows his pantheon of gods over the course of 8 cycles. He actually grows a little complacent in this process to a degree. He's very alien, but it is essentially complacency, and kind of becomes almost like an emperor at a gladiatorial coliseum. The Dying Orders become entertainment on a ridiculous scale to him. The previous cycle had a race of creatures that you guys call the Magi, who are very attuned to magic, and they figured out the Chaos Seals exist and kind of what they do. That Deivaki himself itself is somewhat bound by the laws of the universe, and chaos is the energy sitting between everything. When Deivaki created the Kryn, or the Earth, essentially, chaos leaves behind a failsafe. Should this happen, the corruption, 7 Chaos Seals, and when they're opened, they grant you the ability to harness your own inner strength, opening an 8th seal, which grants a dual thing, a mortality to Deivaki first, and whoever the chosen individual hero is has access to deal damage to Deivaki. Basically, they're able to reduce his life force, whatever it manifests as in that cycle. The Magi of your previous cycle left these seals open. That's what they did. They opened them up. They left guardians behind to keep them open so that the next one might remain.
We might make it.
You guys got pretty lucky. You went to the Gate of Time first.
Excuse me, it's destiny, not luck.
All right.
I'm just kidding.
It's a dangerous path to
I'm
walk
just,
down, and you may do whatever you want with it. But you know this. You also just understand a lot of things, and it's not uncomfortable. I don't think. I think you just step through this thing. You find yourself. You understand the truth in that you are, you're part of an unbelievably ancient bloodline that comes from Savras itself.
Wow.
The demons are from previous cycles, as well as elemental creatures, and as well as these things that claim to be gods. And you are a variable outside of all of the stuff that Deivaki should be able to control, because you're kind of somewhat descendant from chaos itself. So in your being able to affect these things, being here, you bought a window, a blind. You're working in the blind side of Deivaki to a degree already. There's another variable in that you have injured all of the gods. Something happened, a machine was created, and every single one of the gods.
Do I know that too?
Yep, mortally.
I know that's what has happened. All right.
The mortals on the Kryn created a machine that killed every god. It injured Deivaki. It also injured Chaos.
Oh no.
The only hope you have is to take Aura to Deivaki and have her.
Do I know it's her?
Yes.
I mean, I suspected it was her, but now I know.
Blow. Without Ellie, you can't open the door. Without Bo, you can't stop the snow. And that is everything you need to do.
All right.
And as you step through this doorway, you're also very aware of the fact that as Aura opens a portal to go back to try and find Lord Chibba, she opens a portal, and they are not hidden by the
They're not
talisman,
safe.
and they are walking straight into Ahi's trap
Domain.
with Symbol.
Oh no.
And that's
Oh,
where we
no.
end today's session.
What? No.
Damn it! It was a trap?
You were
Well,
given
shit.
a particular talisman a little while ago.
No.
And thank you so much for playing, players, and joining us, everyone else. And big lore dumps. 3 pretty large dumps of lore there as we approach the final straight of this campaign. And you guys round a corner onto that final straight for the finish line. I don't know what's going to happen exactly. So I will work with you all with some things and stuff. A couple of you unlocked some new shit. You're pretty much all now at your maximum level of bullshit to a degree. But you did get some stuff. So Una got some extra stuff. Bo got some extra stuff. And
I have to go lie down and cry. That was so good, Brad.
KPP, you did get your things, but there is more to be said about it. Ellie, being the first door opener, is kind of already waltzing around as the god of death, like, yeah, no doors
Which
can
is
stop
just
me, fuck off.
metaphorical too, right?
Yeah, it's great. She's already the
So good.
pre-trained one.
Well, I think it's like one of those, like, she already knows, like, I can go through any door. I already know this.
Doors don't
We're
stop
good.
me.
And
So
and yeah, so I'm gonna give you guys a last little bit of stuff and things and whatever. You might discover some other stuff during play as
What
well.
has happened?
It's not quite over yet, but that wraps up this episode.
I don't want it to end. Now, if it ends soon, I just and we do well. If it ends and we do well, I would just love to have a campaign set in the future where it's all of our characters as the new gods.
Yeah.
I'm just that's in my mind. That's what I'm thinking.
Right.
Besides Bobo will have a giant like following of just like children who are just
Oh no.
It's a giant following of children, and all he wants to do is use his power to like womanize around town, but he can't. Because there's
No,
always he's like, hey,
he
you're
has
so
water
cool.
powers.
Oh my
He'll be the
God.
one that's like, making like waterworks and stuff for show.
Yeah, he can be like Gandalf with the fireworks. All right. Let's do a round of shout-outs. Next week, you will be reunited, I assume. That's what you're going to do. I doubt these two are just going to abandon you. Technically, Suna and Ellie can fuck off if they wanted. But
I like that you gave us the option to do that. They can go worry about God. They think we might be dead anyway, so they don't need to know.
Oh yes. There are
I'm
other
excited.
worlds you could have just left to. You could have gone back to just Likarin and just let the snow fall.
Wait out our fate. At least I'd be able to do it with my children.
Right.
Oh.
And that's yeah. So round of shout outs, and then I guess we'll just continue next week. Let's start with Bo. So you today, you went through your door. Both of you two went to your doors, by the way. That's where you were. This is what was behind both of those doors. You would have naturally gone through them probably as a group, or depending on a couple of other things that happened, you might have done each of your doors individually, was another option that was going to happen. But you you activated Vengeance. Errol Pay activated Vengeance, the Arcanine machine that's designed to kill all the gods, and it worked, kinda. But what it did is it unbalances everything. It fucked everything up, and you were sent to your own boundaries, and so you ended up doing there are alternates, and you did your alternate boundary here, which was really just to encounter this creature and help it, and the gods are just these prisoners, kinda, that are locked away, and they just want to get out. And that was all that you had to figure out, I guess. And it was.
I feel like that became obvious with Death, because he even said that he's old and he just wants to be freed.
Yeah, that's all they are. They're just all tricked. Every time they win their dying order and they think they're saving their people, they're tricked, and then they're locked in a cage, which is their own boundary, which is just a depiction of kind of their world or whatever. You know, you have an element of control over your boundaries, and now I guess another thing that Sauna would know is that you can kind of, it takes a long time. It's not the type of thing that you can just snap your fingers and just matrix construct it. You can adjust your boundary to whatever you want. You guys can actually manifest in that boundary kind of whatever you want. Like legit, you could probably manifest a vending machine if you knew what it was. Like you can kind of do anything.
Or escalators.
It's it's hard to do. But there was a point a couple of weeks ago where I think all of you were sitting down just after you got out of Ellie's door. And I want to say it was Sauna. I can't remember who it was now, but someone saw something weird shift and change. Like the ground changed. And that was
me.
That was you.
That was me.
Yeah. Oh yeah, it was you because you had mastery now. That was it. So yeah, you came out and you didn't know it in the way that Sauna does, because she's all omnipresent and bullshitty now in her head. The third eye is open, but you actually had a lot more control than the others over the boundary itself. So you could have changed it to make it look like whatever you wanted. You know, pink and roses or black paint on the walls. You know.
I know that Ellie tried to change the boundary, but it wasn't her boundary. It was Merkel's boundary. And so she had tried in there, and she had almost started when he was still alive, but then she couldn't control it afterwards.
No, because it wasn't really hers. He kind of handed you the keys, but it's not yours necessarily. The same thing happened with Bo. Handed you the keys to let him out and get out, kinda. So yeah, that's some of the little questions that I feel like I'm just going to throw out answers for here, because you as a group probably would have some understanding of it. Sauna most certainly does now. She has a whole lot of ability to kind of download information on command to a degree. With it's still limited to you for a lot of it, but things that are stuff that you can understand or are relevant to you personally, you can pretty much portent for all intents and purposes. Anyway, Bo, ultimate god of water, ice, and the sea, and dolphins. Where can people go to find you throughout the week and question you and stuff?
Hi, I'm Dispy. I played Bobobo for you today, and I unfortunately led poor Aura into a trap with Lord Chiba. Today was such a great episode. Thank you so much, Brad, everybody. Thank you. You can find me here at Twitch, same handle, and I play a lot of variety games, spooky games, and some role play in between. So yeah, if you enjoy that sort of thing, come hang out.
Nice. What about you, KPP? The old Bo Aura team up?
Yeah, I just opened a portal to another god, because that was the thing to do.
It was going to happen either way.
Yeah, I'm Katie Peters Plays. I played Aura today. There's just like a lot to process from this episode. So this week will be good to like deal with that and then come back next week for it.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I'm excited to see what happens. I also get a little bit, it's bittersweet to think that maybe the story's coming to an end, but it's been really interesting to see how all of our characters have grown and my character has grown from all of my bad roles. So I don't know. I'm just rambling now, but I'm Katie Peters Plays. You can find me on Twitch at Katie Peters Plays. I'm playing a game called Song of Horror right now, which is just a bumbling mess, but also one of my new favorite games ever. So
is it a scary game?
Yes, and it's good.
I want to start playing now that I have less stress, I should say. I want to start playing scary games, so I'm gonna need Katie and Disby to put together a list.
Lost in Vivo.
Yeah, these are the people to ask for scary games, 100%.
I want to start playing, but I like a lot of psychological stuff. And
Silent Hill 2.
Do what now?
Silent Hill 2. That is the most mind fucking game. It's so good. You'd love it. or the room.
Catching up to do.
This
Yeah.
is it now. You've started a domino effect. You must
Yeah.
never mention horror games
Horror
to these
games.
three.
Yeah, we love it. We love it all so much.
50% of the conversations before this show goes live every week is Disby and PB talking about horror games. KPP's never here on time because she raids in. I'm kidding. But I've no doubt whatsoever that that's all it would be, is just these guys talking about horror games all the time. I barely ever play them. I have no input at all.
Played more.
I will.
You really should.
I'd vote on games on my channel, so it's not up to me. It's a democracy.
Silent Hill has come so close, like 5 times.
mental, yeah, it's
it's
crazy.
to the point now where I just can't get my hopes up. I just am like, don't disappoint me again, child.
Yeah. All right. Katie Peters plays, everyone.
That's me.
You're gonna say Katie Peters plays after I say don't disappoint me again, child.
Katie
No.
Peters plays, everyone.
There's your
BB's
soundbite. from
biggest
this episode.
disappointment. Yeah. All right. Well, that's the most disappointing. What is it called? Segue of all time. My
Yes,
brain is
yes.
so dead. I'm so tired this week. It's crazy. Like I knew this one was happening this week as well, because I knew this was going to be the Lord Drop episode, and I was like, oh god, I've had like
It was perfect.
a cumulative like 5 hours of sleep this week. I feel like. I'm glad I think it went how I expected it to. I guess. Kinda. You weren't always originally going to be doing this the way you did it, but it was kind of always going to happen, right? So how you got there and what you did and who did what where was always up in the air. But this kind of just horrific lore drop that's just an enormous bomb of information was always coming.
I knew I'm gonna have to go back and probably rewatch. It was a lot of information.
Yeah, you can also probably just question Piranha Plant in the chat.
That's
or
true.
on,
I saw someone
or on
say so Suna has
Discord.
become Piranha Plant.
Yeah, like you, Piranha Plant has been watching my shows for so long and knows, I swear to God, knows my lore better than I do. And that's not a joke. And the Inquisition on Discord they're always good for questions, and they quite often break stuff down. So on our Discord on Tablestory, you can go and find Dying Order, Dustveil, and Darkfire, which are all set in this same world, and they all kind of link together to a degree. Really, Dying Order is the only one that deals with this on this huge macro level, but you can always go and question one of those people, or just go and throw questions in the Discord and be like, guys, I don't know what the fuck you just said. It was confusing.
Can you just quote everything that Brad said? That'd be great.
Yeah, I mean, you can also, by the way, you three can question me as well. Yeah, no, it's confusing. It is. I'm confused by it. I have to sit and research my own shit sometimes where I'm like, and is that correct? Yes, it is, because it's been 4 years I've been setting all this bullshit up, kinda. Anyway. If you want to bomb Pocket with questions, where can they do it? Are you back to streaming and stuff then? So you've moved and you're all set up?
Okay,
or?
so this has been my second week off because of selling the house, and then it was so sudden that they basically were like, okay, well, you have to be out by next Monday, and it was on a Monday. And I'm like, cool, I got this. I don't even have an apartment.
Yeah.
So I had to rush and finish up all the selling stuff, and the owners were nice enough to let me stay till Monday, even though that was technically their house at that point. Now I'm unpacking. Anyway, I will be back to streaming this week. I'd like to play something a little more chilled this week. I might go back to Terraria because I never finished it. And then I want to start doing stuff like scary games and story games. There's so many games I need to play, like Red Dead 2, and there's so many things I need to play that I was like, I can't get invested in right now because I don't know what my life looks like for the next, month. But now I'm confident in that, and
that's so nice when you feel like you have like clean air ahead of you to just be free.
I underestimated how important that is because I haven't had that for months, and now that weight is just sort of lifted, and even it's just instant where I'm like, wow, I feel so much better.
That's the best. Yeah, that's the best feeling that is.
I look forward to doing this, by the way, with all of you, and had a very good session with Suna today. So today was a lot of fun.
Yeah, they're now like they now have been together for a long time, really.
We're close,
and just
yes.
and just
Almost a
walking
month.
upstairs.
Yeah.
Like, it wasn't like they had
Yeah.
anything to do other than just kind of walk endlessly.
Yeah.
And you two being like, you didn't need food and stuff or whatever. Like, you need a bit of food,
Yeah.
but it doesn't matter that much, and like you don't need rest and stuff. I was like, that is the best pairing for this that could have happened.
Yes.
Well, I think
It
it
was
was
random,
the
by
best
the
because
way.
of how they were at each other's throats.
Yep.
Like, it could have gone two ways, where it's like we kill each other here, or
Yeah.
Which, honestly, and I said this because we were talking over break and stuff, what we have discussed, and how our relationship has changed a little bit, and I'd said that I was always kind of hoping that would be the case, because from episode 2 they were kind of at each other's throats, and we had said, well, it's kind of like that thing where you see somebody that reflects yourself back and you hate it, so they kind of both had that reaction to each other, which was kind of cool, and so now it's neat to see
it
their
was
relationship change.
an interesting pairing, I think, between both sets, kinda. And
Oh, yeah.
also, you guys have been trying to get water breathing or whatever that spell is for like 2 levels, so that because you knew you had to go back to Bo's door
Yes.
and that Aura would drown 100%.
I'm glad that Bo got it, because I also had the opportunity to take it, and I was like, well, only one of us needs it, so
Yeah.
it's a good thing Aura went with Bo.
Yeah, so that worked out pretty well. All right, so that's Pocket. Head on over to Pocket's channel. All the links are in the chat. What about you, PB?
Oh, thank you for not starting with me. I would have just absolutely had a breakdown. This was a very, very, very good episode. It's nothing like playing in a Brad Wodo campaign, I'll tell you that. God damn it. Skip me this week. It's really
I
good,
don't even
Brad. It
know
was
why
really good.
you're crying. Okay.
Aw. it's an
Pumpkinberry.
emotional week, because it's like it's coming to. We all know it's coming to an end soon.
No, it's coming to an
And
end.
it kind of sucks, because I've been really enjoying this.
It's
So
always the way, man. It takes all
Day
this
1,
time.
you gave me a list of visions that Suna had. And you have this way of really dragging you through the story in your character's shoes. So, White Room with an Hourglass, the woman who steps through the portal, like, these are just some of the things. So, as you're describing it and I see the hourglass, it's just like, I was there. I was right there.
Yeah.
So thanks for that.
Yeah, your character's been a really weird and interesting one that I want to discuss more, but not now, because we've
Yes.
got plenty of time to do that. When this does end, and I don't have a predicted end, but it really is not an enormous amount of weeks. At least I can say weeks, plural, definitely. But at the very end of the series, we'll do another episode the week after where we do a roundtable where people can question the cast. The plan is to do half of a usual 3-hour stream where everybody can bomb you guys with questions about your characters specifically, rather than me and all my lore bullshit and all that. And then the second part will be you can bomb me with questions about this and any links to some of the other things I've run as well. So there's that. So any questions that you have, and that includes you four, we'll be able to answer them, and I'll be able to answer them as well.
We also, for those listening and those
it's a
on
lot.
YouTube, join our Discord if you have questions for him. Detective Piranha Plant is collecting questions, and it's already started, since we want to be super prepared and make sure that your question isn't missed. So join our Discord. You can go to tablestory.tv/Discord, and it will take you there. And then you just go into the Dying Order channel, tag Piranha Plant, or drop your question in there, and we'll collect it.
You can also tag Piranha Plant and just draw an 8 and then 3 equal signs and a capital D, and that would be funny too. I'm always so serious.
Can I do that right now?
Yes,
I'm gonna go do that right
please
now.
do that right
Do
now.
that right
I
now.
always have to be
Yeah, I'll
serious
also
on
do
a
it.
Sunday, and I just don't. It's the only time of the week I spend 3 hours taking something seriously. Like, I think everyone thinks that if you've only ever seen me GM something, you probably think that this is all I do. I'm like, I'm really serious about my lore, and you understand? It's about chaos and versus order, and power. And it's like, no, dude. I make dick jokes like all day until this point for 3 hours, and then I carry on with the dick jokes till then. So make sure that you send Dexter Piranha Plant. Oh, he's gonna hate me. All right.
It's already happening.
So much for watching. Thank you so much for watching. Yeah, it's not over yet, but we are certainly nearing the end to a degree of this. There's a couple of things to still do, but you guys have really kind of risen up to the point now where it's really just do or die. Just do or die. It's go in, get the job done now. You got to get in there and get the job done. First, Sauna and Ellie have got to save Bo and Aura as they wander into Ahi's trap, and that will be next week. Thanks again for watching. See you in a week. Bye.
Bye.
See you. Ta-ta. Oh God, it doesn't work. Hello. Bye. Just keep saying bye. Bye. Keep saying bye.
Bye.
Their vision is
Bye.
based on saying bye all the time.
So freeze, don't move.
Don't.
That was
And also
inappropriate.
just say bye. Bye.
Wait, are we still saying bye?
Yes,
Yes.
we are.
My
Bye.
computer's
Oh,
crashing.
bye.
You don't understand. My
Bye.
computer is dying.
Bye.
There it is.
Oh,
Hey, there it goes. Okay,
bye.
bye. Bye.